Everyone talks about Traxxas and Arrma, but have we been ignoring a serious contender for the best 10th scale RC monster truck on the market? I've put the Maverick Quantum2 Flux through its paces with at least a dozen battery packs of hard driving at the skate park. While it has some weak points, it might be one of the most underrated bashers for the money. Let's talk about what held up, what broke, and why this might be the best budget alternative to the big names. Like every RC, the body absorbs most of the impact during a crash. The front of this particular Lexan body tends to hook over the bumper quite often, leading to a couple of cracks throughout the grille and front fenders. Each body post hole has developed a crack as well, which is very common with this traditional mounting design. These areas can definitely benefit from some drywall tape and E6000 for reinforcement. The electronics are actually very solid. The steering isn't overly strong or fast, but the stock servo seems to hold up and get the job done. With a 3S LiPo hooked up to the stock electronics, the Quantum2 Flux is able to pull off backflips and front flips, but not quite as easily as other trucks like the Arrma Granite 4x4 BLX. If you jump high enough, you can pull off multiple flips, but it can be a bit of a stretch with the stock gearing, tires, and longer wheelbase. I've had the ESC come unstuck a couple of times from hard landings, but you can kind of expect that with only double-sided tape holding it on. The shocks have handled most jumps, but after some particularly hard hits, I did have one start to leak. I greased the O-rings and put some 35 weight TLR oil in all of the shocks, and they've been working great ever since. I also decided to clean out the stock grease in the differentials and replace it with some 5,000 weight factory team diff fluid, which I highly recommend. The motor mount screws and the pinion gear set screw loosened up and shifted on me within the first 10 battery packs, so I'd also recommend applying some blue thread locker to those ahead of time to keep everything tight. Now, I purchased this truck in the fall when the temperatures outside were still warm, and I really didn't start breaking parts until the temps dropped significantly. Within 2 batteries of running at the skate park in almost freezing temps, I was able to break a full pack of steering knuckles and hub carriers. Those parts gave me no issues in warmer weather, but getting those plastics brittle is a great way to find the weak points of an RC. I had a camber link pop off during one of those crashes, but that was able to just pop right back on. If you nosedive this truck hard enough, those 2 long screw pins that thread into the bottom of the front bumper tend to bend slightly, but you can kind of bend those back in a vise. If you frequently drive on abrasive surfaces, the skid plates also wear down. The rear skid plate seems to wear down quicker than the front, and most of that wear can be found in the very back of it. Once all the plastic is shaved down, the heads of the screws start taking the brunt of it, eventually making it tricky to remove them. About 4.5 battery packs in, the bearing that the slipper clutch rides on completely exploded. More recently, I also discovered strip teeth on the front differential due to some worn out pinion bearings that were ready to explode. If you're running hard on 3S, you'll want to keep an eye on the bearings in these areas to prevent further damage. I'm not quite sure if it's the size of these bearings causing them to give out, or if it's the fact that they're metal shielded instead of rubber sealed. I have been running this truck a lot in wet conditions, so that doesn't really help the situation. If you are running in wet conditions, be aware that water can get inside the vented wheels. To help it escape and prevent the foams inside from becoming off balance, it's a good idea to vent the tires by poking small holes in the tread, and then plugging the wheel vents with some electrical tape. Honestly, my only complaint with this truck is that it has a slipper clutch and not a center diff. But for the price, it's hard to argue. The Quantum2 Flux holds up and performs very well overall considering the price. Yeah, I listed some broken parts and weak points, but keep in mind that I've been driving this truck hard and skate parks are brutal. This is a 4x4 1/10 scale ready to run brushless vehicle with an almost all metal drivetrain going for around $250. For the price, it puts the Traxxas Stampede 4x4 VXL to shame in my opinion. Something to consider though is the parts support. HPI Racing is making a strong effort to improve their parts availability, which is great to see, but obviously compared to other brands like Traxxas, it's going to be tougher to find parts for this truck. Amy and Hobbies stocks all of the upgrade and replacement parts available for this platform, but you probably won't be able to walk into most hobby shops and find these parts. Overall, is the Maverick Quantum2 Flux worth it? For the price and the performance, it's an excellent option. It has its flaws like any RC, but it's a fun truck to have in the fleet and it offers a lot of value for the money. Like, subscribe, and check out these other videos if you enjoyed watching this one.